Hey guys. So we are here to do the live power hour, and Mary and I are the only ones here, and we understand that it's a Friday afternoon and probably getting geared up for the weekend. So rather than actually like do the live power hour, like we're going to walk you through it, we're just going to explain to you how we do our power hours and give you some tips on how to go about doing it, and then we will also share this. A document in the file section that you can actually go back and do this. It actually has timers, so you get your phone out, set your timer, and do the activities. There's just 5 activities. They shouldn't take you much longer than an hour when it's all said and done. You'll get in a flow and you'll just start pounding out messages and it'll go a lot faster. But if you can get your mindset right first, and I think that's the key, is when you start to do your power hour, you've got to shut off distractions. That means not looking at your news feed, even if it means turning off the volume on your phone so that it doesn't ring or you don't hear your beep from a text message. Those are things that I have had to do to just get rid of distractions, because if you get distracted, it can kind of like totally change your whole feeling about doing the power hour. And I feel like that it's all in the mind, right? Like if we can get our mindsets done. And the best part about getting all these activities out of the way is then you have the rest of the day or the rest of the week, however you end up doing it, to not have to really worry about it, have it like lingering over you. So when I first started, and I learned about the power of threes, which is this document that I did share with you guys in the group, I used this very consistently because for me, it laid it out where I could do, 3 each day. Of my adding, connecting, inviting, and following up, and then presenting the business 3 to 5 times a week. So I used it consistently. But what I've noticed is I'm a mom, a stay-at-home mom with 3 young kids, and my husband works out of town. Like I was explaining earlier this week, he's gone 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time sometimes. So it was really hard for me to like really get an hour every day. So it was getting broken up in chunks. And like I was saying before, for me, it totally cut my flow off when I was breaking it up, because then I would my kid would distract me and I'd be in the middle of messaging and I would get distracted, and then I would come back to my messages and I would have to start all over and figure out like where I left off. And so what I actually have been doing lately, and it's been really working really well for me, is that I still use this form. I still fill it out. Because I think it's a great place to get names, and I never throw these away. I throw them in a binder so that I can go back to months prior or weeks prior, and I always have the names of the people that I have talked with. And I always put a little note on there too, like what I talked to them about, whether it was 21 Day Fix or it was coaching or whatever it was. I always kind of put a little note on there so I have it. I know what I talked to them about last. But what I do now, and it's really been effective, is that I pick one day a week that I know I have an extra little bit of time, and I do what I call like inviting blitzing. So I do the majority of my inviting one day a week. And it's typally on Wednesdays. And I don't know why I pick Wednesdays. It just kind of seems to be the day that works for me. And I'll just spend I'll spend up to 30 minutes, sometimes up to an hour, just inviting and getting out as many invites as I can. And it's really been effective. Then inviting for me is the one area, inviting and following up, which obviously they're the most important part of your business, but they're the ones I don't really like to do. I love connecting. I love building relationships and finding out about people and what makes them tick and helping them. But like the inviting and the following up is not my favorite part. So for me, doing it in one chunk and kind of getting it out of the way is so great, because I just feel like I've accomplished, and then I can continue those messages through the week. Because once you've got that invite out there, maybe they didn't, maybe they saw, you see that they saw the message, but they didn't respond, or you've started that conversation with them and you're finding out, why either the business or this program is going to help them and what their needs are. So you're just kind of continuing that relationship and continuing those conversations throughout the week. It's been really, really helpful for me. I don't struggle. I'm not bragging. I don't struggle Google Hit Success Club every month because I am consistent with this. And that is the key is just got to be consistent. These activities are so easy to do, but they're so easy not to do. So if you can just get in the habit of doing them, and if for, like I said, at first for me, I had to do them every day. I had to get in that habit. I had to do them every single day to get into that habit. Now things have changed in my business where I can just get out a bunch of invites in one day, or sometimes 2 times a week, depending on how my week goes. And then my business just kind of flows that way. So I know that that's what's working for me. And I'm sure Mary has a little bit different strategies, so she's going to share what she does as well.
Sorry, I'm taking notes.
I'm going to take notes too.
Okay, and so actually that like gives me a little, I just want to throw in a little like tip for you guys. I think the people who do the best in this business are people who never feel like they've arrived and never feel like they know everything. There's always something to learn, right? There's always a new approach to an old concept or a new perspective that you can pick up from people. And so like, don't like, you guys, like when I do my team calls with my team, at the end, I always open it up for discussion because I learn from my coaches. Like I'm their leader, but I learn from them. So I just want to like, throw that out there when you're going through these trainings and stuff, like take notes, like absorb it, like if something stands out to you, like make sure that you try to, not forget. I'm notorious to forget things. Okay, so power hours. So when I started, I was much like Tammy, and I did the power of threes, like, every day consistently. And then as time went by and as my business grew and as I grew as a coach and I started figuring out things that worked better for me and different ways to tweak it so that it fits into my schedule the best. So right now I'm full-time Beachbody coach, but that's brand new. I just quit my job on April 15th. Happy tax day to me. April 15th was my last day of work and as a full-time court reporter. So not only was I a court reporter full-time in the court, I had an hour commute to get to work. And I had when you're a court reporter, and for anybody who has no clue what I'm talking about, I was the person with the little machine that takes down every single word everybody says. Yeah. So part of my job, but is separate and apart from my 8 hours a day I spent at court, was dedicated to preparing the transcript from what happened in court. Okay, so I'd sit in court all day like this, and then somebody would order a transcript, and guess what? I have to go through the entire day again and read the whole thing, edit it, make sure the punctuation's right, print it out, mail it off. So my job was much more than 8 hours, okay? Like it wasn't your normal 8-hour day. So for me, doing all this stuff was hard because like it was hard to find a full hour to sit down and actually focus and not have distractions and get it done. On top of all of that, I was the music director at my church, so I had that responsibility. I was a wife to my husband, and I just had all the other things that people have. We have to do stuff, go to the grocery store, clean our house. So what I did is I found little pockets of the day that I could devote to these activities that are so important to our business. And I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say that you're never going to get where you want to go with your business if you're not doing this. Because, and I'll even go a step further. You're not going to get where you want to go in your business just doing one of these. Like Tammy was saying, she likes to connect with people. She's not so into inviting them. If all she did was connect with them and she never invited them, she would go nowhere. She'd have a lot of really cool friends, right? But she wouldn't her business wouldn't be growing. So it's really important to look at this as a whole, like a pie, right? And to have the whole pie, we have to have all parts working together. if you want to hit your goals. So I totally got off track what I was saying. Oh, so putting it, figuring out how things work for you is really important, but the only way that you'll be able to do that is by taking a system that somebody else gives you, like the Power of Threes, and working it consistently. And then you'll start to see little things that you can tweak. Like maybe you do like Tammy and you do everything, one activity all on one day. And I'll be honest with you, I do exactly what she does with most of my stuff. So my Power Hour, I'll just show you. And if you guys want it, I can put it into the post in the page. But mine, I call it the Power of 15s because I don't do 3, 3, 3 each day. I focus on one activity, like she was saying, one activity a day, because I've found that just for me, I'm a very focused person, and it takes me a little bit to get there. But once I'm focused, like I'm focused. And if I set a timer and I interrupt myself every 5 minutes to change focus, it's too chaotic for me. So, I sit down and I do all my invites on one day, right? The one thing that I do consistently every single day is I answer my messages if somebody messaged me or emails, and I will check in with all my groups, obviously. I post on Facebook, obviously. Those are every single day. But my invites, my follow-ups, those are delegated to different days. When I was a court reporter, I would do them in little blocks. So I would take 15-minute blocks because I didn't have a full hour to sit down. So I found these 15-minute blocks. And I know I think I mentioned this in my video on Wednesday, but my personal development, I did that all in the car. I had an hour commute. My personal development happened in the car, and because I had an hour commute, I got so much personal development done, right? So find time. If you're on a time crunch and you don't have a lot of time, what I want to encourage you to do is think of times throughout your day that your hands are busy, but your brain is free. Okay, so what do I mean? Driving in the car, sitting in the car waiting for your kids to get out of soccer practice, going to the grocery store, walking through the grocery store. You can have your earbuds in and be listening to Tony Robbins. You don't talk to anybody at the grocery store, do you? You know what I mean? I didn't. So, do something productive with those pockets in the day where, listen to the National Wake Up Call. There's a podcast for all the National Wake Up Calls that are archived. You can pull it up on your phone when you go to the grocery store, put it in your ears when you're doing laundry, when you're doing the dishes, when you're cleaning your house. I cleaned my house today, and I'm telling you guys, there's something about cleaning a house that my brain is just the entire time I was it was power going through my head, right? So find those times where you're sparked, right? And then use it. The other thing I would say before you do your Power Hour is, like Tammy was saying, make sure your mindset's in the right place. For me, that means I don't sit down to do this if I'm mad, okay, or if I'm sad or depressed. I'm not going to sit down and put that attitude on as the face of my business for any single person I'm going to talk to that day. Because trust me, even if you're just typing, attitudes come across. Don't ask me how it happens but it really does. People feel it. There's a weird thing that happens. So make sure that you're happy and you're excited. And there's different ways you can do that. But my favorite was listening to personal development right before I sit down to do my work on my business, because it gets me focused, it gets my brain going, and it's positive. So it gets me positive, right? If I just had a fight with my husband, I'm not going to send a bunch of connection invites out. It's just not smart. So use common sense, right? Of course, balancing that with don't wallow in your sorrows and not do anything. That's common sense. Okay, so that's how I do my Power Hour. And I do want to piggyback on what Tammy said again and just say that consistency over time is where it's at. this is what I did every day when I was first started my business. Now I don't struggle to hit Success Club. If I do this every day, I'm hitting Success Club over and above Success Club. Okay, I don't struggle anymore. But that's not going to happen right away for you. So you might sit down and do your power hour for 1 week, a whole week consistently, and you might not get any results. That's okay. That is okay. So what I think is important is looking at this, the activity as your win, kind of like the Go for No idea behind Go for No. Like, change your focus on what you're focusing on and what you're putting emphasis on, and make the emphasis and the win in your head the fact that you sent the invite, not the fact that the person responded or they didn't respond or they were rude to you or they said no or whatever. That's not where my win comes from. My win comes from checking it off my list and saying, I know I did what I needed to do today. So if you do that consistently, and when we say consistently, we're not talking 1 or 2 weeks. We're not talking a month. We're talking about long term. When I first started, Carl Deichler said, make sure that you're here next year. And that is so, I say it all the time to my team, like, it's so vital to do that, because there's going to be time, some people start off with a bang and then they hit a slump. Some people will hit a slump right away and then their business slowly grows, right? The truth is, we're all going to go through hard times. There are all going to be times in our day or times in our month or year where, we just want to give up on our goals, but that's not how you get to where you want to go. So that's what I had to say. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Was I supposed to talk about something else?
No, I think that was everything. That's basically what we do in our power hours. Did you have any questions? Natalie, you're the only one that's on here. How are you? You don't have to talk.
I'm sorry. Really? Am I the only one here?
You are.
And I was late. I was freaking out. I was at Brookshire's and I thought, oh my gosh, it's starting. And so I had to run back real quick.
No worries.
I missed the first part. Is there a recording? I missed 18 minutes.
Yeah, we recorded it.
Okay. Well, I can't believe nobody's here. That's a lot of good information, though. Thank you. I did hit Emerald yesterday.
Yay!
I know, and I have 3 other people that are interested and a couple more that are wanting Shakeology. So I've been trying really hard since like February, and it's finally starting to pay off a little bit.
So I'm so glad you said that, because that's just what I was just saying. Yeah. Expecting things to just happen overnight, it just doesn't work like that.
No, and I have an accountability group, and I keep inviting people to it, and I post about everything, not just Beachbody, but fitness and eating and workouts and different things like that. And people are starting to ask. They're saying, I've been watching you for a few months, and now I'm curious. So it's working.
That's awesome.
I was listening to a call yesterday. I don't remember who it was. I listened to a lot of stuff, but I don't remember which coach it was, but they were saying that usually the first and second month are kind of a little easier, because you have like friends and family that are interested. And then like that 3rd, 4th, and 5th month, it's a little harder, because the ones that you've asked, you might even get not even be interested at all. And they don't want to see your stuff, and they're kind of being kind of negative towards you. And so those months can be the hardest. But if you continue to be adding to your network, like new people, like finding new people to talk to, and, then that organically just kind of starts to happen. If you're not adding new people to your network all the time, you're trying to pull from the same pool of people that you've talked to before, and they're really not interested in right now. And they might even be annoyed by you, and they might have blocked you. You don't even know, right? So if you're not continually adding to that pool of people, then it kind of dries up. And so like months 3, 4, 5 can be a little harder, because you haven't been adding, because you've just been focusing on your warmer market, right?
Right.
So you just made it's happening for you. You said you've been adding all these people to your accountability group, new people, and they're seeing what you're doing, and they're going, gosh, that Natalie, she's really kicking butt. I need to get on that train.
Yeah.
Right, and somebody else told me that, unlike some other shakes and workouts, that it's more about nutrition and it's healthy and it's not a magic pill, and that's what makes them more interested in it because you actually have to work for it.
It's legit, right? And that's funny because there's so many of those magic pills out there, the wraps and the this and the that. And I think that there are a lot of people who are just like, I really want to be told the truth. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to hear that I need to do squats and push-ups, but I know in my heart that that's really what I need to do. And so they appreciate when they have someone tell them the truth. Like, no, like, you need, this is what you need to do. I know for me, it was like that. I tried all the quick fixes, and in my heart, I always knew what I needed to do, and I waited 8 years before I did it. And then once I did it, it took me 6 months to lose 50 pounds. So you tell me what was the quick fix.
Yeah, that's for real.
You know what else? You know what else is important about that consistency part is that if you're doing that vital behavior, being proof that products work, and you're sharing your story consistently, even those people that may have told you no before, or even are turned off by some of your posts, like they're watching you still, and they're like, that person, like she's been doing this for a while, and she's still like, they're still getting good results. This just actually happened to me. One of my really good girlfriends from we used to run together like years ago. And she just finally, it was a month and a half ago now, she finally decided to buy 21 Day Fix Challenge Pack. It's been that long, like literally. And she just told me today, she goes, all I can say is I wish I would have started 2.5 years ago when I talked to you. But she was afraid to spend that money on herself. Like it was that initial investment. But now she's like, I had 2.5 years that I just kept saying, that's too much money, but I was consistent for that this whole time, and she knew it, and she knew that she was watching me the whole time. So now, then it, like Mary and I talked about this, that then they're not afraid. If you're consistent and you're showing that you're doing it and you're showing up, eventually that money doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, and the beauty of that is this happens to me all the time. So I just, in the last 2 months, have signed up 4 coaches from my old job where I was at for 10 years. So the first 4 years of my business, they sat and watched me, and then they waited till I was like, oh, guess what? See you later, guys. I'm quitting my job. And then they were like, wait. So now they're joining my team as coaches. So that is so true. And that's just one example. I mean, people, it happens all the time. Like the more consistent you are, and you'll have people 2 years from now that'll finally come to you and they'll be like, Natalie, I'm finally ready. And I've been watching you for 3 years, like it happens. And, but in order to fuel your income and fuel your groups and reach your goals in the meantime, adding those new people from your cold market that's just, you have to. I mean, we've all seen the Mary Kay and the Herbalife and the Body by Vi. Is that even a thing anymore? And the rat people, and they're out there like, oh, buy my this and that. And then 2 months later, they're gone. Where did they go? Because they run out of people. Well, there's some bad business practice there too, but you run out of people, like eventually. And so starting from the beginning, adding new people. Yeah. And a great way to do that is by doing free groups. That's how I add my new people.
That's what I do. I post it in groups like sale groups, but it's a free accountability and encouragement group, and people just jump on it all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have several a day that jump on it, and like 2 today that came in yesterday asked me about challenge packs. But I do have a question. I have a friend that wants to sign up, but he said, what's it better? Is it better for me to buy Shakio every month or to sign up as a coach? I mean, really, I get commission off the Shakeology every month, but is it better to put him under me as a coach if he's never going to sell?
Okay, so there's 2, and we'll all see what Tammy says after I give you my opinion. So there's 2 thoughts on this, and one is what you just said. When you sign up a coach, you do give away your commission. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Beachbody says we have 25% that we're willing to give away. And when you're a coach, you get all 25%, which means your sponsor doesn't get anything.
Right.
So keeping them as a customer, you're going to be getting the $33 a month. Right? So there's schools of thought on it. I personally don't now, and where my business is at, I don't go after discount coaches. But to get to Diamond, I did. I did have a lot of discount coaches. And so you're going to get, you'll get to rank advance much faster if you do that, especially if it's somebody who, like I have discount coaches on my team that are still discount coaches that have been with me from day one. So if you do that, I mean, it is beneficial because they'll help you get to your rank and they'll help you hold your rank. It just depends, I guess, on how fast you want to get to rank.
Well, I have one that said if they wanted me to wait to sign up for a coach, like when I get another one for the other leg, then they would wait and I could keep getting commission until I get that other coach. But I'll probably get that next month already. I know somebody that's signing up next month. So I didn't know what to do really.
Is this person, have they tried Shakeology yet?
No.
Okay.
No, but they love the workouts. They've been doing the workouts for years.
Okay.
And so they bought a workout from me, but they said, you know, I really need to be healthier and I want to do the Shakeology. Would it help you more if I signed up as a coach or if I just bought the Shakeology? So I was like, I don't know.
I guess that kind of, since you're like brand new,
Yeah.
I'd say sign up as coach because you want to get to that diamond rank
Right.
and beyond. And you can't do that if you don't have people under you.
But he's also never going to be emerald because he's a lawyer. He doesn't really care about the money at all.
Right, but you don't need just emeralds to get to diamond. You need 8 coaches total, and only 2 of them need to be emerald. So a lot of times people will sign up multiple discount coaches to fill up the legs, and then, you know, at the same time they're trying to get people who actually want to work the business as well. The other thing I would say is I've had discount coaches who signed up I signed up for the discount. I was a discount coach. Okay, so just because somebody says like, hey, I don't really want to work the business, like I just want to get the discount, doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. And what I do and what I recommend is if you have a team page or your coach has a team page, add every coach into that team page, regardless of their intentions with the business, because then they'll be seeing posts about coaching, they'll be seeing people getting recognized, they'll be seeing like exciting stuff that's happening, and that they'll feel a part of it even though they're only just getting the discount. And you never know what post or video or whatever is going to spark them to go, what the heck am I doing? Why am I not doing this? You know?
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll sign him as a coach. I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, I will say my best discount coaches have come from people who signed up as a discount after they already were hooked on Shakeology.
Yeah.
And I've seen it the other way where people sign up right away and then they don't stick with it because they didn't have that love for it already, if that makes any sense. So
yeah.
It's like with any time you sign up a coach, I think you should do it, but I'm just saying anytime you sign up a coach, I like to look at it like a scientist in a laboratory. Do you think the scientist is invested in which way the experiment goes?
Right.
He's just curious. He's just like, I'm going to put this together with this, and I'm going to step back, and I'm going to see what kind of cool colors happen. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like to look at myself that way. When I'm putting out the invites, when I'm signing up coaches, when I'm helping them get onboarded, I don't put all my eggs in their basket. I don't make up my mind one way or the other about if they're going to do good or they're not. I just put all the information together, throw it all together, and then I sit back and I go, okay, let's see what they do with it. Like, yeah, like curious, right?
I just didn't know. He asked which would be more beneficial to me, and I said, well, I think I'll ask because I'm really not sure. So.
So you're not Emerald yet?
Do what?
You're not Emerald yet?
Yes, I am.
You are Emerald. Okay, and so how many coaches do you have?
Just 2. I just made Emerald Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're working towards that diamond goal, so I would, absolutely sign them up and start, because you still need 3 more coaches on each leg, and then, 1 on each needs to be Emerald. So,
yeah.
And I did the same thing Mary did. I signed a lot of discount coaches at first to get to diamond. And I had a lot before I finally got to diamond. It took me a long time to get that second Emerald on my other leg. And then what I started doing is, since I had my husband on my weak leg, then if I'm getting a discount coach now, that I stick him under him, because then he's getting the volume, I'm getting the volume. We're kind of both double dipping in that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I've got my daughter on one side, and I'm going to put my brother on the other side in August. So I have family on both sides. That's the only question I have.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and put that assignments in a document, like in the page. So, and it has little
BSB in there too that you had.
The what?
The chart that you had, the check chart. That.
It's in there. I posted in there, and then Mary said she'd post hers in the group too, so people have choices on how they want to do it. And then we'll just go from there. And if you have questions, you don't hesitate to send me a private message either.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Anything else, Mary?
I'm gonna stop the recording.